You're listening to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, your escape to reality.
Hello and welcome to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. Today is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021, and this is your host, Stephen Novella. Joining me this week are Bob Novella.
Hey, everybody.
Kara Santa Maria.
Howdy.
Jay Novella.
Hey, guys.
Evan Bernstein.
Well, with Christmas coming and all.
And we have a special guest, a return to the podcast of Ian Callanan. Ian, welcome back, buddy.
What's up, guys?
Ian, oh my gosh. I've heard about you. I've heard
I did my
about you.
YouTuber intro, so I hope that works.
There you go. All right. Let's move on to skeptical heroes and jackasses. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
My skeptical jackasses of the year is every anti-vaxxer. Just a whole lot of them. If you're an anti-vaxxer, you are a skeptical jackass of the year for 2021. And the skeptical heroes are everybody who pushed back against them online or in the public arena or fought against vaccine misinformation. That was essentially the big skeptical fight of the year, and that defined who were the heroes and jackasses, in my opinion.
I totally agree, Steve. You nailed mine as well, my hero and jackasses. Yep. So frustrating, such a frustrating year. Because, I actually naively think, like before the pandemic, but I knew it was going to be a pandemic, I thought, at the very least, this is good. During a pandemic, a vaccine's efficacy will just be too obvious to ignore.
Yeah.
But no, they can ignore anything and everything. And that's, as I can't believe after all these years I was that naive, but it was like, I would think when it was in your face,
it gets
would
back
make
to
a
the
difference.
social media discussion. They're living in a different information ecosystem.
Yep,
They're living in a different world. It is a different world.
Yeah, I think either I channeled Steve or vice versa, but it's very similar in my hero and dummies. So I'm going to tack on a little extra. So I'm going to hyper focus. Like I was saying, I was like on TikTok a lot. So all the science communicators on TikTok are like kind of doing the quote unquote Lord's work, in trying to combat the pseudoscience and like directly going after other people on the platform, which is really cool. I dig that. And the dummies is in a roundabout way, it's going to be Joe Rogan, who influenced my handful of high school and college friends who listen to him and say things like, how many boosters for how many variants are you going to take until you say enough is enough? And that's like a direct quote from a friend of mine. And I'm like,
how much food are you going to eat? Until you're like, enough's enough.
So let's swing it back. Joe Rogan's ding dong. So there you go.
Joe Rogan absolutely needed a mention. Thanks for bringing him up. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Let's say it. Let's have the balls to actually say it. Joe Rogan is an asshole. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. His misinformation is profound. It's profound. And it's so profound that you can't look at him like a serious human being at this point. Like he is actually a parody of himself at this point.
And that's the thing that's so depressing. Rogan was my first interview on Talk Nerdy, and I used to go on his show regularly. I used to be friends with this guy. You may have heard of him, named Dave Rubin. What happened to him?
God.
He completely fell off the deep end. Yeah. And it's so frustrating when you see these people who you have this core question, and I actually confronted Rubin about it once in text, and I did not get a very pleasant response, which was, do you feel like you finally have the space to say what you've always been thinking, or did you kind of become savvy to the fact that going this route is going to be more lucrative as a career move? And he did not take that question very lightly.
It's a loaded question, but fair.
But not really. I really
fair.
wanted to know, have you always had these views, but you weren't really comfortable saying them out loud?
Yeah. When exactly
I really wanted
did you
to know
sell
that because I was like, was I missing something? Did I have a massive blind spot? Or are you physically a different person than you were 5 years ago? Yeah. And I actually think that's what's happened. I think with Rogan, I don't know, but part of my hypothesis here is that he's one of these people who just believes the last thing he was told.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody goes on the show and makes what sounds to him like a good argument because the basic skeptical, toolbox isn't there, then he's like, yeah, that sounds like a good argument. You've convinced me. Because he sometimes has very reasonable people on his show, and those interviews sound reasonable. And then he has completely, off the deep end people, and it's the same to him.
Yeah,
that part scares the crap out of me.
That's such a great insult. He believes the last thing that he was told. Like, that is a really That's a razor blade slice. Skeptics Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.